Okay. Here's hoping.
Feeling.
Yeah.
And just see your slavery.
All right. Ta-da! Okay, we're back. All right, first time there were some audio problems. We're going to blame me for that because it was my fault. I can see you, Michael.
I know. I want you to be able to see me shake my head, yeah.
All right, so we're back. We're the News 19. They can hear?
Okay, good.
All right, we're the News 19 nerds. I'm Leroy.
I'm disgusted. Who's our special guest?
This is Destiny from KGW. We're going to do this again.
You really
Destiny
sound so old.
I told you, man, I'm defeated. They beat me this week. Destiny, tell the people who you are, where they can find you.
Well, hello, News 19 fans. I am Destiny Johnson. I have a nerd news channel for the NBC affiliate sister station in Portland, Oregon, called KGW Comics. It's called Nerd News with Destiny. We're working on a rebrand. Don't worry about it. You can find me on YouTube at youtube.com/KGW Comics, where I also talk about nerd stuff. But as I said before, when we have no sound and it's all Leroy's fault, not as well as these gentlemen and their guest hosts. But I have a lot of fun, and I would love if you would come talk nerdy with me.
I don't even have a response to that. All of that was factually correct.
And Destiny gives us too much credit. We said before that she does an amazing job with her editing. In the interviews she's been able to get, because you got Matt Kent, right? No, who did you get? See, I don't know comic people. You got somebody big.
Matt Fraction and his wife, Kelly Sudacon.
Matt Fraction. That's very cool.
Thank you. Yeah, they're local Portlanders. They're super nice.
Yeah.
A lot of great insight.
Yeah, you are the more polished version of what Leroy should be doing for comics.
You know I can hear you, right?
Yeah, good. I want to shame you into being better.
I appreciate that. It's very kind.
This is called bullying in the workplace, sir. I don't need this at work because I already get it at home.
Okay.
I'm quite sure my wife.
I'm quite sure. Fight for the company.
I'm quite sure my wife is going to chime in with some smart comment.
I hope she does.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So,
what are we talking about?
We're gonna get into a little bit of Animal Crossing, San Diego Comic Con, and maybe a couple other things. But first, let's do Find Your Joy. So, guys, what was the joy for you this week? What got you through the week? Michael, start with you.
All right. So, people who have been following us for a little while, they know for the past 2 weeks, I was talking about I was playing Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, the most recent Tomb Raider game.
Mm-hmm.
I bought it back in 2008. I got it for a gift back in 2008, and I just kind of procrastinated and forgot about it. And I picked it back up again, finished it. Great game. Kind of a meta game in terms of Lara Croft maybe not being a great person. If you think about it, it's kind of interesting. About she kind of just appropriates culture and takes people's stuff. It's wild, but it's a good game. Very good.
Hold on. Question.
Yeah.
So this is the reboot of the series, or is this the sequel that came out that was Xbox exclusive and then came to other systems?
This is the most recent Tomb Raider game out.
Is this the one that the Alicia Vikander movie's based on?
More or less.
Kind of. Okay.
Yeah.
And she's a trash human?
Well, she does some trash stuff, and she kind of realizes that maybe I'm not. I can't just go around in other people's cultures and do whatever I want.
Okay, go on.
Yeah, very cool. I think, but it was a good game. But now I am playing a game that you told me about a while ago, Assassin's Creed Origins.
Mm-hmm.
I picked that up from GameStop a while ago for like $10. I'm loving that. Loving Bayek, loving Egypt. I just got introduced to his wife, Aya. A lot of fun. So that's what I'm doing on the game side. And then kind of outside of me playing games, I'm watching people play games in speedrunning competitions a lot on YouTube. A channel that I follow, Games Done Quick. They're a big community of speedrunners who do speedrunning for charity. They usually raise money for Doctors Without Borders.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, this weekend, they're raising money for COVID-19 relief. And you can donate money, and they give that money to Direct Relief, which helps send supplies and PPE stuff to doctors and first responders.
All right, cool. Destiny,
That's what I'm doing.
Destiny, what's got you through the week? What's been keeping you smiling?
I have a dog. It's pretty great. He was over here and he left. His name's Puppy. I do post about him on the channel and also on my Twitter. Hello, so I just want to say really quick that Tomb Raider is my favorite video game franchise, so I'm really glad to hear that you played that and that you enjoyed it. The remakes were just okay, but the originals are great. The second thing that's not exactly related to games, because I think you could probably use my third thing as a segue, is I'm a crazy plant lady. I have a lot of plants. Here's my plant wall. And
Okay.
so plants make me really happy. Planting things makes me happy. And the last thing is Animal Crossing. Let me just fix my little books here. Animal Crossing. I've been playing Animal Crossing every day since it came out at 12 a.m., the day it came out. And I'm really enjoying that. And it calms my anxiety brain. So.
Was that 12 a.m. our time Eastern or 12 a.m. your time?
It was 9 p.m. my time, I believe.
Nice. Fantastic. Yeah, okay. So what is it about Animal Crossing that you love? Because everybody's talking about it. And I texted, or I sent a text or a tweet to you saying, should I get it? You said yes. I haven't pulled the trigger yet, but I will. But just like, why?
So I heard you saying, I started Assassin's Creed, and that is a game that I really want to play, and I've started about 3 of them. I need a game that's like, the reason why I like Tomb Raider is because it's so linear. There's a lot of things you can do, but your trajectory is exactly what it should be. You know what I mean? Like, you know what you should be doing, and you can go to a side quest if you want, but you know what's up. With Animal Crossing, it's probably the only game where you can do whatever you want that my brain can handle. There's no consequences. You can do whatever you want. You can play, it goes with real time, so you can play a little bit every day and accomplish all your little goals every day. And the goals are whatever you want. You can spend all of your time making flowers, or you can spend all of your time, building your island and doing whatever you want. It's just like, do whatever you want.
Did you get all the eggs and stuff on Bunny Day or whatever that big event was?
No, I didn't.
Okay, cool.
Time out. Question.
Uh-huh.
What is Animal Crossing? What the hell are you people talking about?
You just get to be a villager, right? Living on a
Sir, that's not a description of what Animal Crossing is. This is a movement.
It is a video game with which you can play on your Switch.
Okay. Explain how this, because correct me if I'm wrong, Animal Crossing when it was released outsold Doom Eternal. Is that correct?
I don't know the numbers, but I would believe it.
All right. So
That seems plausible.
what the hell is Animal Crossing? I got to know, because Michael pitched, we were going to do our Nerd News wrap-up. Michael pitched the story, people are actually dating through this game. And I'm trying to figure out how in the hell does this game work, and how are people dating? How is this happening? I don't understand it.
That's so funny. You said that to me, and I was like, tell all your single friends I have hybrid flowers. Hello, I'm stuck in quarantine.
No idea what that means. No idea what that means.
But I don't know how people are dating in Animal Crossing. It's really, you can visit other people's islands and see what they're up to, and if you have designated to be a best friend with somebody, you can take things from their island, so you can gift people things. I play with my best friend Anne every day. We FaceTime, and we visit each other's islands, and we save presents and stuff for each other, and fruit to sell. Your island has fruit. I have no clue how people how can you date Animal Crossing? Because when you go to somebody else's island, you can send a message, you can type out a message, but you only get 40 characters or something. To be really straight to the point.
So I think Animal Crossing either started as a GameCube or a Nintendo 64 game. I can't remember which one.
I had the one for the GameCube. I think it started with GameCube, and then it went to the DS, and a lot of people DS.
And the idea is you just get to control your own life, right? You control your own, and pardon the pun to use your name, but you control your own destiny, right? In terms of you set your own schedule, you plan what you want, you really get into it as much as you get out as much as what you put into it. Mm-hmm. And I think the reason why people really like it now is because you have this feeling of control over this island where you necessarily don't have control over your life right now while you're in quarantine. A lot of people are looking at it as like, you know what, I can't go outside, but I can go outside in this island. I can plant flowers. I can eventually, you can terraform the map, right? I believe.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean you get to create the island however you want. You can build this huge house, and you can invite people to your house, and they can tour your mansion or see the flowers or whatever you have. I know a big thing is people trading fruits because not everybody has the same fruits on their islands. So it's just a way to communicate with people. It's nice, friendly.
Question.
Yeah.
Is this game in the same vein as like a Sims or like a Minecraft? Is there a little bit of difference?
I feel like it's. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I can't play The Sims. I am somebody who freezes when I have too many options. I'm not a friend who can pick out the restaurant to eat for dinner. If presented with too many LaCroix, I just break down. I can't with that. But this, to me, seems like there's less chaos. Like, you can't light your house on fire and kill all your villagers and, like, make them do bad things in bed.
When they make that game, I want to play that.
You can do that in The Sims.
You can do that in The Sims. Yeah, I don't know what you're waiting on. I think Sims is like $9.99 on PlayStation 4 with a bunch of expansions.
You're less like God in Animal Crossing, and you're more just like a friendly face.
I mean, I like an Animal Crossing to like a Stardew Valley type game.
Yeah.
I like a Harvest Moon.
Mm-hmm.
Very similar games of like a God game kind of / farm simulation or whatever. Kind of like that. There's really no fail state, which is nice. Or, I mean, depending on who you are. Some people want to have that challenge. But
so,
for the most part, it's just, what?
You said there's no failed state, like no Banana Republic in this game?
No. A fail state refers to a game that has like whether or not you can actually fail the game or get a game.
See, I thought you meant failed state as in like Afghanistan. or like I honestly thought you would like geopolitics. I was like, what game are you talking about? Now, Destiny, you just did a video. It's about 20 minutes in length about like kind
There's
of.
the dog.
Yep, there he is. Oh, wait, you got to unblur your background because we can't see him.
I don't know how to do that.
The 3 dots on the bottom next to the heart. Ha! I know something.
Just learning as we go.
I know.
There we go.
He looks as shocked to be on here as I do.
It's a good boy. We're listening.
So, like, Destiny, tell me about the video you just posted on your YouTube channel. Like, what got you to post this, and what's the video about?
Oh, so the video is called clickbaity title because YouTube. What you should do on your island every day. But I don't really stand by that because I really think you should play Animal Crossing however you want to play Animal Crossing. If you want to time travel 5 years in the future and be super rich and terraform your island and do whatever you want, like live your best life, I'm not here to judge you. It's not how I want to play. But I just kind of go through, it is like 24 minutes long, which makes me feel feelings that I have played for at least 24 minutes every day since the game has come out. But I just kind of show you, like, if you shake your trees, you get, like, free money and free furniture and all the people you should talk to and all the things you should do, I guess, to, like, maximize your worth on your own island every day. But again, if you just want to go around and hit your villagers with your net, live your best life. And I made it because, I don't know, it's all anyone's talking about anymore. It's, like, all I see all over my Twitter feed. It's, like, infiltrating, like, Pinterest. It's I mean, it's just it's I'm not on Facebook or anything, but it's like literally everywhere.
Yeah, It's funny that you like we're talking about Animal Crossing, but we started talking about video games at the beginning. Michael talking about Tomb Raider, and you guys talking about Assassin's Creed. Also, you're welcome, Michael. One of the things I thought was interesting on my way to work this week, NPR spent an hour talking about video games, the stigma around video games, and how we're like the World Health Organization is now like, since we're social distancing, staying home, they're encouraging people to play video games. They're encouraging people to get a console, whatever console you want, and enjoy video games. And I thought it was interesting that Animal Crossing, like Destiny said, is a game where you basically can do some of the things we all thought was mundane 2 months ago. That seems to be, normally I play video games to smash people in the face. But here's this worldwide craze that's just mundane things, and it's captivating the world.
Can you guys excuse me for a moment? JR called me, so I have to figure out what's going on with the show.
Ah!
Like a minute. Yeah.
I just want to say that y'all want to be nerds and play video games when you're stuck in your houses, but when I'm a nerd and I play video games and I choose to be inside my house, y'all want to blame me, and I'm not here for that.
But the thing is, we're all now the same. We are all now stuck inside playing video games. Also, so with Animal Crossing coming out, PlayStation Initiative dropped this week. So if you guys, I think it was Rayshawn K was talking about, he's finally getting to play Uncharted. So the Nathan Drake collection is out. Also, they dropped a game called Journey. It's an indie game. I think it came out in 2012. Won a bunch of awards. I'm finally getting around to downloading and playing it. It's something that's been on my list, but I've been trying to kill everything that moved. So this is a very good change of pace. So that's Animal Crossing. Destiny, what else besides Animal Crossing are you playing? Because you have a Switch, right?
I do have a Switch.
All right. What else are you playing?
So I was playing Zelda Breath of the Wild, which is a truly beautiful game, but I do have a little bit, before you pop, I do have a little bit of the same problem that I have with, it is pretty open world. For me, it is as open world of a video game as I'm willing to play. Because I will get sucked into the stupid side quests, and then I'm thinking hundreds of hours into the game. It's too much for me. But it's really fun. I got really far in it, and then I put it down for a while, so I had to restart. So it was nice to restart feeling like I knew everything, which is great. And I played Stardew Valley as well, which is a game that Michael mentioned, and I think is very fun. It's another one of those games where you just live your best life.
I would recommend a game called Graveyard Keeper.
Oh, yeah?
It's in the same vein as Stardew Valley, but it's a little bit more of a dark humor because you are a literal graveyard keeper, but same type of thing.
I'm also replaying The Last of Us, which is one of my favorite games, and I'm really excited for the second one that's coming out, but I don't have a console new enough to play. I have a PlayStation 3 at my house right now. So
Interesting segue. So since you said you only have a PlayStation 3, are you going to buy the next generation Xbox or a PS5 when it comes out?
I am PlayStation loyal. I've been PlayStation loyal since the first PlayStation came out. And will I buy it? I want to. Do I have dollars to do it? Debatable.
I plan to buy one, wife willing. Maybe two. We might flip one. I don't know. Because I'm going to buy one. I'm going to buy both. A PlayStation 5 and whatever the Xbox, Xbox One X Transformer, whatever it's called. But me and Michael were discussing. Sony has said they're going to release the least amount of consoles this generation than they ever have before. So I'm just warning you guys, this is probably going to be a hot Christmas item. If you can afford it, get your pre-order in now, because this means, I remember when, was it the PS3 that was short? Was that the one that everybody went crazy over, that there wasn't enough consoles?
I feel like every year it's like a struggle when a new one comes out.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a big issue with scarcity. It kind of depends, because the PS3 had the issue of being, what, $4.99, I think, when it came out? No, it might have been $5.99. And then the Sony president at the time made that infamous quote of, "Oh, you'll get 2 jobs to buy it." That didn't sit well with a lot of people when he said that, and that definitely hurt them for sure.
He said what?
When the PS3 was first announced and whatever the price for it was, he said something to the effect of, "Oh, price doesn't matter. People will get 2 jobs to buy it." And people didn't take kindly to saying that, don't tell me how to spend my money, that type of stuff. And that kind of hurt PS3 out the gate, which led to Xbox 360 kind of winning that particular generation of consoles.
I feel dumb as hell because I didn't know he said that, and I did have 2 jobs at the time.
Oh.
And
So you were the dumb. Okay.
And I bought every iteration of PlayStation. But I'm going to be honest with you. Depending on how much this thing costs, I might buy an Xbox first. Just because they're talking about backwards compatibility. We already know the specs, already know what it's going to look like. I'm going to be honest with you. That Xbox One X, whatever it's called, is looking very tempting right now.
what games allure you? That's my problem with Xbox. Is like not a lot of their games like allure me. When I think about Xbox, I think of dudes like teabagging on Halo. I haven't been interested in an Xbox game in a while. However, I think that Tomb Raider went to Xbox before it went to PlayStation, which I was not thrilled with.
Yeah. Have you ever played a game called Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice? Or heard of it?
You mean that demon game that we argued about that one time that I told you that's what it was?
No, because that was the second one. I'm talking about the first game.
I hate you.
We didn't argue about the first game.
We argued about the second one. Shut up, man.
Right. I'm not talking about the second one. I'm talking about the first one. It's a female protagonist, I think set during like maybe a Celtic period, who deals with she has mental instability. I don't know what that says.
It says I hate you.
Okay, cool. She has mental instabilities.
Chat saw it.
It kind of deals with her journey to kind of, I guess, wrangle those in, or to deal with her insecurities and what she considers weaknesses throughout the game. It's a very good game. It was PS4, I think. Yeah, and now it should be on Xbox One now. But Xbox, Microsoft bought that studio, and I think now they have 15 first-party studios. So they're really trying to. They know they have an issue with their game library isn't as strong as Sony. They know that. So it is curious to see what those 15 studios are working on.
Let's see. Sony, Spider-Man, Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima,
God of
War, Final Fantasy,
Dawn.
Horizon Zero Dawn, Final Fantasy. I mean, up until recently, Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
Sony's killer when it comes to exclusives, but I'm going to be honest with you. Xbox is that Game Pass, and the chat is talking about it right now. That Game Pass, everybody I know talks about it and loves that Game Pass. And right now, PlayStation or Sony is lagging behind, because you were telling me Gears of War was on that thing when it's like almost as soon as it came out, it was on Game Pass. Control.
Any first-party Microsoft title goes day one in the Game Pass, which is great.
To me, that and the backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
And I'm all on board. So we talked a little bit about video games. So Destiny, we're going to hit one of your special topics, Comic-Con San Diego. How do you feel about it being canceled?
As a comic book lover, it's sad. It's the first time it's been canceled in 50 years that it's been going on. It was the 50th anniversary. It was going to be like a big deal. As an immunocompromised person, I say hell yeah, because it's safer this way. I know it's disappointing. I know it's hard to look at the big picture sometimes when you feel fine and you've been stuck in your house forever and you were really looking forward to it. But I think ultimately it was the best decision, and I think they're smart to make that decision. I think it's not only like a socially conscious decision for people, little sickies like me, but also a monetary decision, because a lot of people are going to be really gun shy about going out into public, or they should be, to flatten the curve. Like everyone, that's a really like a hot phrase right now, like, ooh, flatten the curve, but like for real, to make sure that we're not spreading things asymptomatically, and just like, I said this because Emerald City Comic Con was canceled, and that was like last month, or it's going to be this, what is time anymore, but when it was canceled, it was before things had really sort of exploded. Like the world was a little less apocalyptic when that was canceled, and so we were all kind of like, oh, that sucks. But like, you get a whiff of some of those cosplayers sometimes, like they can't even shower. I do not expect people to be washing their hands the amount that they're supposed to be washing their hands at a Comic-Con. That's going to make it a safe environment. So I understand, but it is kind of a bummer.
Yeah. I think it definitely sucks, because events like Comic-Con and big of those group gathering events are places where people can kind of go and be themselves and relax, because sometimes you may not feel like, you can be yourself at work. Maybe you're bundled up or whatever. You feel like you have to be dressed a certain way. Comic-Con, for all of its stereotypes about nerds or this, it is a place of love, and it is a place of welcoming and being encouraging to other people and accepting people however they are. And that's just one more thing, one more place where people can't express themselves, which kind of sucks. But I agree with Destiny earlier before we started, we were talking about would I go to a convention? And I was kind of half joking to say I would still go because you get less people, but I mean it's definitely smarter this way because it's better to be proactive now than reactive later, right? Where if you open everything back up and then you don't flatten that curve, you get more deaths, you get more infections, and we're just in the same spot, several months down the road. So it sucks now, but it'll be better down the long road. And maybe that puts a fire under Comic-Con's butt to be like, hey, let's make next year even better than before, whatever we were going to do. Let's make Comic-Con incredible. Let's make WonderCon incredible, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, when I can afford to go.
Oh, you ain't never going again. You got a baby.
I'm going to find some way to go. But
you can live through me.
One of the things Destiny mentioned is being autoimmune. What's the term? I want to get it right.
Immunocompromised?
Thank you. I cannot say that. But the chat just right now, Miles Cage brings up all conventions are either being canceled or pushed back, which is true. And Ken from Chicago brings up a very good point. Michael, we've talked about this. Destiny, we've talked about this. Con crud is a real thing. People go to conventions, and this is on top of, Ken from Chicago says, con crud is bad enough without adding I don't want to curse, but a effing pandemic. So I remember me and Michael, we went to San Diego, you took me, and it was a lot of people. I was overwhelmed with the amount of people in such a small space, to the point where there were a couple of times I had to leave and walk out. And you add a pandemic to that, they are being smart, but I guess, does this going forward say, hey, maybe we need to police how many people we have in here, how close these people are, and let's probably throw in some hand washing stations, because I love my nerds. I love you guys, but I'm going to be honest with you. Me and Michael, we went to, what anime convention was that this year? The last one we covered before all this. Nashicon, thank you. There were a couple times we had to walk out. I was like, some of y'all were funky. And I was like, and I always remember that meme that says this woman, and it's a small woman who has a sign up. She says, if you can afford to cosplay, you can afford deodorant. And I'm like, and so I'm hoping with all of this, you're right, it does convince some of these convention goers and convention organizers to say, how do we streamline this process to make it safer, a better experience? Because I don't want anyone to miss out on this, because I'll be honest with you, I loved going to San Diego. I had never experienced that before. I'd been to smaller conventions. Shout outs to SC Comic Con and Greenville, Heroes Con in Charlotte, and our own Soda City Con here in Columbia. They're amazing, but I'm going to be honest with you, nothing topped San Diego. We got to see Star Trek Beyond in the park with the San Diego Orchestra. The whole cast was there. I wasn't that far away, but I was in the same vicinity as Idris Elba. We sat in front of Dan Murrell from Screen Junkies.
Wait, Destiny, are you waving as you said Idris Elba?
Myself.
Okay.
Like, it was just such a cool environment. We got to see the boat from not The Walking Dead. What's the other? What's the?
Fear of the Walking Dead.
Thank you, Fear of the Walking Dead.
Yeah.
We saw that boat, or yacht, I should say. It was just so cool being a part of that. So I really want this to continue, but I do understand where Dusty's coming from, that they need to do a better job of cutting down on the con crud and policing some of their members and saying, hey, you need to wash. I don't know how you do that without singling somebody out, but I mean, this is, in order for us to be able to go back and do some of these nerdy things we love, like an E3, like a San Diego Comic-Con, there's going to have to be some changes.
Yeah, those are such special memories, going to cons and going to cons as a journalist and talking to people who cosplay and talking to people who write comics and talking to people who on TV or whatever for nerd stuff. the sense of camaraderie, like Michael was saying, is so deep. Everybody is there because they're there to get their brand of nerd on. If that means that you're there to buy Funko Pops, you're there to do that. If you're there to collect old comics, you're there to do that. If you're there to cosplay, like whatever you're there for, you're like in a pretty safe space to just get your nerd on. And so it is sad that these types of things are being canceled at this time. And I do hope that, I think a lot of like really easy fix to a lot of that stuff is educating their con people, the con goers, about how to take care of yourself. Because I think it's a twofold process. I get con crud because I stay at cons for 12 hours a day, have one bottle of water and half a granola bar. Like, that's my fault. You know what I mean? I know that everybody is like doing the same thing. Or you're going to get like a cheesesteak from like the food court, and that's all you eat all day, and you feel like crap. You go home, you don't get enough sleep because you go out after to party or whatever, and you drink, and then you go home, you're just like a little dehydrated raisin, and you're just like primed and ready for germs and disgustingness. And it's like, we have to make sure that we're educating con goers about like how to take care of yourself, and also like how not to be nasty. And I think they could do that by like putting out, like you said, hand washing stations or like places to get like hand sanitizer and stuff. Like swag is like cool San Diego Comic-Con hand sanitizer. Like there are definitely ways to sort of facilitate that sort of thing. I think it has to be like a twofold effort. I can't go to con and expect not to be con friend and treat my body like crap for 4 days.
Yeah, I agree with you.
You got an echo somewhere?
Why? What's wrong? Well, the TV's
I feel like
on.
I'm hearing Destiny twice.
Well, the TV's on. I don't have anything else on. Is
All
it?
right.
Could be sound from TV microphone? Could that be it?
I don't know, maybe.
I can turn this down. Hold on. Let me see. Hopefully I don't fall out of the chair.
Screaming or something.
Oh, no, you're good. It's just I was hearing an echo somewhere.
All right, I turned that down just a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. It would. When San Diego canceled, and I knew it was coming, that's when, I don't want to say I knew it was real, but that's when I was like, there's not going to be another convention this year. When they said we're canceled and we're not postponed, that's when I was like, yeah, you're not getting a major convention anytime this year. Because if they closed and they were willing to take that hit, it pretty much was a sign that everybody else. I will say that I haven't heard. But as much as I want to go to New York Comic Con, even if it was free for us and they were like, you could cover it, I don't know if I would go. And I have not been to New York Comic Con. I know our boss has always made allowance for us to go cover it if we wanted to. It's just not this year. And that's in October.
Yeah, see, there's, excuse me, I'm sorry. There's a Rose City Comic Con, which is the second biggest Comic Con in this area. We have Emerald City, of course, San Diego, and then sort of Rose City after that. I think it's in September. And I'm like already thinking, do we do that? They haven't said anything to my knowledge about canceling or anything yet, but it's just like, do you want to do that to yourself? Do I want to do that to myself? I don't think I can, in good conscience, as an immunocompromised person, do that, but like, should everybody else? Should you put your area at risk? You know what I mean? Like your neighborhood, your city.
And it's because, so what, the Trump administration yesterday started, they rolled out the phase plan, right, in terms of easing restrictions a little bit, in terms of letting things kind of slowly open back up. And I wonder if that's going to be what people use as a way to be like, okay, if the federal guidelines are saying now people can go back to stuff, maybe they will allow things to reopen. And I wonder if we're doing it too early.
Well, the federal government is one thing, but we know that the decision is going to lie with mayors, governors, Michael's Destiny, us in the news business, we cover press conferences. We see the difference or the disconnect between maybe a federal official versus a local state official. We just behind the scenes, the governor did not issue a stay-at-home order here, our Governor McMaster. Meanwhile, the mayor of the capital city, Columbia, was like, curfew, be in your house by 11. And there was a little bit of a disconnect. Is that the word that we could use, Michael? Between,
that's a nice word.
There was a disconnect between our mayor, who essentially was calling out our governor saying when he leads, we will follow him, but until this point in time. I know the mayor of San Francisco said that they're not going to be having large mass gatherings. So that's really going to determine which conventions we have going forward. I think it was CB Hunt's. I want to get, it might have been Ryan, I think it was Ryan Porter. Ryan Porter was like, man, a packed movie theater is going to be scary to some people. I mean, we have major movies, being pushed back. Top Gun is coming out in Christmas time. Wonder Woman got pushed back. Black Widow. Those are huge tentpole, $200 million movies. And they're going to be people who are going to be like, yo, which one has the least amount of people in it? Because that's the theater I'm going to go to.
Yeah, so right now, I'm not trying to get political or anything, but to respond to what you guys were saying, at the federal level, it was said that the governors are now in control of what's going on, and then tweets were sent yesterday about like liberating certain places. I'm in a place that has a stay-home order, so it's called Stay Home, Stay Safe. Large gatherings are banned right now, and we are seeing a dramatic decrease in what's going on. So it's working here. That being said, I see some people saying, like, we're going to have to learn how to reintegrate slowly as things up. And I totally agree with that. I'm sorry, I don't know who said that. But also somebody, Keith Butler in the chat said Soda City Comic-Con is possibly canceled.
Yeah, right now we have Soda City usually comes out in August, I want to say. That's probably going to be canceled. We know we have, I mentioned Heroes Con in Charlotte is in June. That's probably going to be canceled or probably scaled back. That's one of our huge ones for a tri-state area. You also have MondoCon in Atlanta, and you have the Dragon Con, which is a huge one. So a lot of these conventions are not going to be either not going to happen or they're not going to happen the way they envision them. MondoCon and I want to say in Austin, someplace in Texas, where they have the company Mondo that makes these great albums, all these different things, movie posters. They're probably not going to have, so all these little minor, smaller conventions are probably not going to happen at least for the next 4 or 5 months because one, you don't want people to get sick, and two, people are going to be scared to go back out. This is going to be let me tell you back. Some people are going to be scared to go back out. Some people are going to be like, hell nah, I'm going to do...
At the grocery store, not wearing their gloves and not wearing their mask.
Yeah, some people are like, I'll take my chance, but which is wild. But for those of you out there willing to take that chance, hey, more power to you. Hey, if you volunteer as tribute, go for it. I'm gonna stay home. We mentioned comic books, but this is one of the things that we had that was kind of breaking news. The chat talked about it earlier. Was Destiny? How do you feel about J.J. Abrams and getting a Justice League Dark for HBO Max?
Oh my god. Listen, I've seen enough J.J. Abrams lens flares and flash of a lifetime. I am interested in the idea of Justice League Dark. I'm interested and a little scared because a lot of those characters I really, really love. So, like, I love Zatanna Zatara, which I have to assume that they would bring in. And so I get protective, I guess, a little bit, as a lot of, like, comic lovers do. I think it's, like, pretty normal to be attached to the characters that you enjoy reading. So I don't know. I try not to be a brat about this kind of stuff, like comics for all and comics media for all, and it can get people into comics, and I think that's so important. Like, go read comics, go support your local comic book shop right now if you can. But I'm hesitant because I don't love J.J. Abrams, and I am also hesitant about like the content. However, I heard, and I haven't watched it yet because I did not have HBO. I now have it, so I need to catch up. But I didn't watch the Watchmen series, but I heard it was really good. So that's promising, I guess.
Yeah. Michael, when you left, we were talking about the news that broke yesterday with J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot doing 3 series on HBO Max, one of them being Justice League Dark.
So as the one out of the three of us,
Mm-hmm.
I have no problem saying I know the least about comics, but I do know that they have tried to make a Justice League Dark property for so many times, and it seems to never work.
Nope. Guillermo del
And
Toro was attached.
Why is that?
Well, one, because I think it's a multiple reasons. One, it's the directors who are attached to it don't get to do it because we've talked about this, Michael, on this channel. Warner Brothers has no idea what they're doing. Remember, there was Guillermo del Toro was attached to it. I'm trying to remember who the other director it was. They don't know what they're doing, so they don't know, and honestly, they don't know what characters they want to use because we've seen Warner Brothers has done a Swamp Thing series, which was really good. From everybody said, Michael, you watched it, right? Was it Swamp Thing and Doom Patrol, or was it Doom Patrol you watched?
Yeah, I watched Doom Patrol. I enjoyed Doom Patrol.
Everybody loved Swamp Thing who watched it. Canceled. So it's one of those things where Warner Brothers doesn't know what to do with the property. They don't know what characters to use. We don't know if we're going to get Zatanna, Deadman. I'm trying to remember.
And
Nightmare Nurse.
Yes. What's the monkey's name? I'm trying.
In the comments, somebody was asking about the J.J. Abrams for Watchmen, and it wasn't. It was Lindelof, right?
Yes, that was Damon Lindelof.
I just meant like they recently had done a comics franchise surprisingly well, according
Yes.
to a lot of people. Sorry, I didn't mean to confuse you. No, J.J. Abrams did not.
Got it.
No.
Also, I see a lot of people talking about the Snyder Cut in the comments.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, that's my least favorite corner of Twitter.
So here's this thing about this Snyder Cut, right? I feel
Yeah.
like we got this Snyder Cut with Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, Ultimate Cut. Like we got it, and it wasn't great.
This is.
I don't know that we need another one.
Hold on. This is what I will say about the Snyder Cut. I will say, and this is all I'm going to say, and we'll move on. I don't knock Zack Snyder wanting his version or vision of the movie coming out. We all know in Superman 2, we got one version of Superman. We got a Richard Donner cut later on down the road. We've had director's cuts before. I'm all for him getting his version out. However, it isn't up to him. It is up to Warner Brothers to put that version out if they want it done. And do they see a need to do it if it's going to make money? And just like I said before, Warner Brothers is not, and I'm not just talking about from the comic side, Warner Brothers themselves as a company at times doesn't seem to know what it's doing movie-wise. So I bring up Harry Potter, because isn't that a Warner Brothers property?
Yeah.
How's that Wizards franchise going right now?
I mean,
I'm not trying to throw rocks. I'm just
I'm just saying. I think that. I mean, yes, I'm a big Harry Potter fan, but it has two giant theme parks.
No, what I'm saying is, when it comes to Warner Brothers, when it comes to movie properties, to me, it's amazing they were able to get the Harry Potter movies done to begin with how bad it seems to be. And when you look at these new movies and the trajectory that they're going,
you're comparing Harry Potter to what's the new thing now?
Fast and Furious.
No, Fantastic. You're comparing the Fantastic Beasts.
In other words, and that's what I'm saying. Like Warner Brothers themselves have to decide if they're going to do a Snyder Cut. And the only reason why I have hope for this J.J. Abrams Justice League Dark is because it's HBO Max, and they're going to be like, this is what we want, so you're not, somebody brought up, and I cannot, the mystery box, whatever, J.J. Abrams and the lens flare. I think all of that is going to be toned down because HBO Max is in charge, and I don't think J.J. has ever had like, I don't want to use the word overseer, but some like studio notes coming down saying, hey, we don't want this. Try not to put the British girl naked on, I think they're going to have a more, because we saw what they did with The Watchmen. We saw what HBO did with The Outsider. Big Little, Big Little Lies. I'm trying to think of all the other, but HBO does TV right. So that's the only thing I have hope for when it comes to Justice League Dark.
They definitely seem to let the creator run their own show, which is nice.
Yeah, I think that you find this. I think you find this coming from the DC universe for some reason worse than you do from Marvel. I'm not. We can get into Marvel issues if you'd like. What I mean is, like, every time they try and make like a DC franchise, it's like they can't stick to. Like before you were saying, like what characters would they put into Justice League Dark? Because they have a whole host of them. It's been rebooted a few times. You get like, sometimes you get like, I said Jason Dark, I meant Jason Blood. Sometimes you get like Jason Blood heavy like plot lines, and sometimes you get Zatanna plot lines that are really heavy, and then sometimes they're not even there, and sometimes Wonder Woman is there. And so like there's a lot of things to choose from, and I feel like that like you get these people who don't know a lot about comics, who are just reading up on it. It's overwhelming. They like can't stick to a lane. And so you have this sort of weird flip-floppy thing. So you have that going on with just like the general DC universe. And then you have the WB situation going on, you know what I mean? So I feel like that's why we see these things and we're like, this could be better. So I think like you're saying, the HBO thing is a major factor that we shouldn't undercut, because they know what they're doing and they're not going to put something out that's like a sack of poo.
Yeah. One of the things you brought up, the WB. The WB, for all its detractors, the CW verse, with your Flash, your Arrow, your Batwoman, your Legends of Tomorrow, people but people love those shows. So if you
the Legends of Tomorrow is great because it doesn't take itself seriously. It's fantastic.
But I mean, that's my point. You have the blueprint to do this. And I think part of the problem with WB and Warner Brothers and DC is they don't know, should this character be in TV and should we make a movie about this person? Because you talk about who's going to be on this team. Is it going to be Constantine? If you're doing Constantine, are you going to recast the character or is it going to be the CW guy? Or is it going to be Keanu? People have talked about Keanu coming back. I have very big apprehensions for this franchise because J.J. Abrams, there's some things he's done that I like. I actually like some of his Star Trek. I think some of his Star Wars, I like the Overlord thing that he produced. I did like the Overlord movie. There's some movies that he's done.
Did you guys read his Spider-Man recent?
Terrible. I will say, and I was excited for it. I have bought every issue. The one he wrote with his son, he's writing with his son. One, it's late. It's late. This art is beautiful. Sarah Pacelli is the woman is amazing when it comes to art. But the book itself, I do not like it. The beginning, the first issue, they fridged Mary Jane Watson. Killed her off. First couple of panels. Spoiler alert.
Right? I mean, okay, we can get into the discussion, the whole backstory of J.J. Abrams and his son killing off a female person. I could have seen that coming from about a mile away, but I'm glad you said you didn't like it because I was interested in reading it, and then life has happened. I'm
gonna just say this. It's interesting. But to me, it is not worth the price of admission. At $4.99 an issue, the art is the only reason why I'm reading it. The only reason why I'm picking it up. I love Sarah Pacelli's art. Her art is amazing, but I'm just not feeling it. And so I say that to say the only reason why I have faith in this Justice League Dark is because it's HBO Max, and it could actually be Justice League Dark. It could have more adult elements. It could actually be pretty good. It could have Zatanna in it. It could have Constantine, Swamp Thing. It could have all of these great characters doing, it could be the horror that we've wanted from like a Doctor Strange that we didn't get. And that's what I'm kind of hoping for. So that's the only reason why I'm like, let's see what JJ is going to do. But, one of the things before we wrap this up, because I know everybody's got to go. We only got everybody here for an hour. One of the things I did want to ask you about was, and it just left my mind just that quickly. Whew.
It's because you're old.
It's that, and I'm broken. They broke me this week, Michael. They beat me down. See how you keep getting phone calls? I turned my phone off. I turned it off. I don't care. Whatever they want, they can get it afterwards. Oh, speaking of Doctor Strange, how do you feel about Doctor Strange being done by Sam Raimi?
Sure, why not? Let's do it. Because to me, it's like Sam Raimi will give you that kind of campy element / horror element that you're going to get from an Evil Dead or Army of Darkness or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what they were trying to go for with the sequel to Doctor Strange. It's not going to be a full-on horror movie, which some people may want, because it's Marvel. They still want to be able to make it a PG-13 movie.
True.
And I feel like Sam Raimi can give you that balance. I hope that means that Bruce Campbell's going to be in it. That would really be awesome as some type of cameo. I would love that. But yeah, sure, let's do it.
Destiny, what do you think?
My concerns are less with Sam Raimi and more with the content of the film.
Mm.
So I'm really trepidatious about where they're taking. I want to call her Wanda Maximoff, but we all know it's Wendy Behemoth because it's just like a sad approximation of Wanda Maximoff. Thank you for laughing at my jokes. It fuels my soul. And I'm more concerned about that. You know, like I think I don't know how to make movies. I'm sure it'll be fine from that standpoint. It would be nice to see a little bit more of the horror angle when it comes to Doctor Strange, and I think they tried, but it just like fell short, you know. And even when they had Mads Mikkelsen in, like who can be like a very menacing guy, it was still a little like. So I'm interested in it from that standpoint. I think that Michael is right that he can provide some of that we were missing. I'm just concerned about Wanda Maximoff. I think they're going to be pulling from House of M, Children's Crusade sort of situation, which deals a lot with her like mental issues. So we'll see how that's covered.
I'm probably going to say the most hottest take. I don't like Sam Raimi.
Why?
Let me say this. I like him for what he is, but the things that he does, it just doesn't do anything for me. I've never really been like all on board. I thought his Spider-Man was just okay. And I'm one of those people, I put it on the chat, I said, hey, which one are you more excited for? J.J. Abrams doing Justice League Dark, Sam Raimi doing Doctor Strange 2, neither or both. I want somebody new. I wanted them to stick with the director that they had, who gave us the first one, and let me see what his vision was going forward. I kind of feel like, even though I'm not as apprehensive as you guys are with the HBO Dark Justice League Dark situation, I'm kind of tired of the same people playing with the same toys. Like, I'm like, get me somebody new in there. J.J. Abrams has done Star Trek, Star Wars. He's about to do Justice League, and I'm like, get somebody new. Give somebody a new voice. Let's see.
Hey, did J.J. help with Fringe?
Maybe.
Okay, I'm just curious.
Maybe. I mean, I got it on the shelf. I could look. I don't know. If he did, I don't want to admit it. If he did, I don't want to give him that satisfaction. I feel like Sam Raimi is great for what Sam Raimi does, and I don't know if Sam Raimi is what Doctor Strange 2 needs. Going back to what Destiny said, I wanted more of the horror element. I wanted more of the comic book, the worst things in the multiverse, and I want to see that. And I don't know if Raimi is the person to bring to do that. And I'm kind of tired of seeing the same things over and over again from some of the same people. Reason why I bring this up is because the chat was talking about, we saw the first pictures this week from Dune, from Denis Villeneuve. I love everything that man does. But let's be honest, if we kept giving the same things to the same people, we'd have never got Blade Runner 2049, Prisoners, Sicario, and now Dune. So I would rather see somebody new on the scene tackling some of this MCU stuff. Perfect example is we now have the brothers who did Infinity War, Endgame. Russo, thank you. The Russo brothers. Those dudes did Community, man. Like, give it to somebody, you know, like whoever's the brains behind The Good Place. Give them an MCU show, or let's see some stuff from some new people. And that's my hot take. I when I saw it, I was like, we gonna keep doing the same thing over and over again, and that's how I feel about it. So I'm kind of thumbs down.
I have feelings about the same three white dudes doing stuff in comics and comics media, so I'm right there with you. But you know, I'm always hopeful that comics media will be something that brings in a non-comics media audience and introduce them into things that I love. So, you know, I'm hopeful, but I could have a lot of complaints.
Ryan Porter says, "Get Raimi, JJ, and Josh W. away from comic properties." I can't disagree with them. Destiny, I want to thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it, guys. We cannot say this enough. Go to Destiny's channel. When you want to talk about comics, Destiny does it, and she doesn't just talk about the normal, you know, your Superman, Batman books. Destiny talks about everything under the sun. All your indie books. If you want to find out about some small indie creator, somebody that you want to read something new and challenge your perception of what comics can do, Destiny's the person. I found out about the Nib from Destiny, and I have now got my LCS to carry it. Shout out to Cosmic Rays.
Great.
Every time that book comes in, he's like, "Here you go." Because when he bought it, he was like, "I had no idea anybody would buy this." And now I buy one, and eventually, and you know, there's two of us. And then there's be three of us. And it's like, so I cannot stress this enough. Go check out Destiny's channel. She talks all things nerdy. It's a different voice. We need more voices in the channel and in the chat. So Destiny, thank you.
Thank you.
Guys, I want to say, so shout out, link to the channel.
Destiny, you have open invitation to come back on Press Play for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Michael, talk while I get this link because I can't do two things at once.
You want what link?
I'm getting the link for the people asking for Destiny's link, so I'm putting it in the chat.
Oh.
It's
Okay.
youtube.com/KGW Comics.
Okay. Leroy, make that happen. So
Doing it now.
as we wrap up, I guess you can always find us here on YouTube, also Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, WOTX.com. I guess I will do what Leroy does and just kind of say thanks to everybody in chat. So let's see, we got Ken from Chicago, Rayshawn K, Brian Barrett, D. Steezel, John Donuts, IMAX, O'Keefe Robinson, Ryan Porter. Who else did I see? Oh yeah, John Donuts. Nice to see you. Haven't seen you in a minute. Nice to see you, John Donuts. I know there's more people near the top.
Somebody brand new. Somebody brand new. I hadn't seen Chris 24M before, and we got Keith Butler, and there was a Chrissy Hopkins.
Yes. Nice to meet you, Chrissy Hopkins.
I believe this
Thanks
is her first
for joining the
time.
chat.
I think this is her first time being here. So
Yeah, nice. Thanks for coming in.
you got Paijan J.
Everybody, I think that's everybody.
All right.
Damian Estrada, Miles Cage Jr.
Yep.
Boundless Book out. I think that's it.
Yep. All right, guys.
Yeah.
So that wraps us up. So we went talked a little bit about the coronavirus. We would try to stay away from that, but honestly, you can't really stay away from it. But we want to say stay safe. Take these precautions seriously. Find trusted news sources that will give you correct information. Don't just listen to idiots on the internet, because every news organization is not the same. Some people may tell you some stuff that might not be true. So check. We're going to use our station Verify. So be on the lookout. We want to see you guys here next week. Destiny, again, open invitation. Really appreciate you having. Next week, hopefully Lauren can be back. Lauren's taking a little bit of time away. So, we're out. I got to go turn this off.
All right, thank you for having me.